Analysts are slamming a new CIA recruitment video, calling it woke propaganda that's gone way too far. The promotional video follows an unidentified 36-year-old Latina CIA agent, and it has been criticized for pandering to progressives. Surprise, surprise. Take a listen and judge for yourself.
Nothing about me was or is tragic. I am perfectly made. I can wax eloquent on complex legal issues in English while also belting Guayaquil de mis amores in Spanish. I can change a diaper with one hand and console a crying toddler with the other. I am a woman of color. I am a mom. I am a cisgender millennial who's been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I am intersectional, but my existence is not a box-checking exercise. I am a walking declaration, a woman whose inflection does not rise at the end of her sentences, suggesting that a question has been asked. I did not sneak into CIA. My employment was not and is not the result of a fluke or slip through the cracks. I used to struggle with imposter syndrome, but at 36, I refuse to internalize misguided patriarchal ideas of what a woman can or should be. I am proud of me, full stop.
Yeah, so that's the CIA, our chief foreign intelligence gathering operation, delving into issues that seem to be quite distant from their central mission. But, you know, I want to right off the bat, instead of giving my opinion, pull up a tweet from CIA officer Brian Dean, who responded this way. He took issue with the video. He said this: "The CIA used to be about mission to country. I speak from experience. Now it's about demanding and getting accommodation to fix an emotional wound or advance a personal agenda. America is less safe with this new CIA and dangerously more political." Leslie, what's your response to Officer Dean?
With all due respect, I'm not in the CIA, and I never would be. I would be too chicken, I'll be honest. But, you know, the CIA at one time was all white. The CIA at one time was all male. I really don't have a problem with this video. I don't know about woke. I woke up this morning. I'm not into that woke thing. You can call me James Carville. But when you look at what this is doing, you know, people say know your audience. And I think very clearly the CIA is trying to say targeting women, targeting minorities, people of color, targeting individuals who may say, I can't be in the CIA because I've suffered with depression or I've taken antidepressants. Targeting people who may say, I don't think I could be in the CIA because I'm a single mom. I have kids. I don't know that I can work it out and balance it. So I think this is what it's specifically trying to do, is broaden its a group of people that it can recruit from, and specifically targeting people who might be concerned because they're, you know, the working moms, they have the anxiety, and even more so targeting women and women of color. And I think that's what they're trying to do, and I think it might be effective.
Yeah, well, Leslie, I definitely think that's a noble mission. But, Will, here's my problem with this. You know, the Biden administration seems to have a habit of apologizing for America. We saw it when they sat across from the Chinese delegation. The Chinese delegation accused our country of racism and talked about all of our problems, despite the fact they're waging genocide against an entire people group. And we apologized to China for those actions. And to me, this just plays right into that notion that something in America is broken and we have to fix it through promotional videos like this and of the sort. What do you think Russia and China see when they see a video like that?
That's a serious question, and I want to give you a serious answer, Kaylee, but it's really hard for me because this is a bad Saturday Night Live skit. It's really pretty funny. I mean, if you want a definition of wokeism, this is the woke salad all dumped into one bowl right here. Incredibly, the CIA bowl. I mean, I can't get out of my head. I am a cisgender woman diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I mean, it's funny. Honestly, it's funny, but here's the thing. We do have to take it seriously because, to your point, look at this, Kaylee. We know for years that the Soviet Union did their best to break America internally by tribalizing us, like we talked about earlier. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to turn us in on each other based upon our superficial differences. And now here we have, you know, the entity tasked with protecting our country through foreign intelligence, embracing all of that, you know, and yes, that serves China, that serves Russia, that serves all of our enemies. It does make us weaker. And one more quick point, Kaylee. You know, the left has defined themselves as the cool rebels, the counterculture for quite some time. Please, that's over. You have every corporate boardroom, you're Coke, you're Delta, and guess what? Now you're the CIA. You are the man, the left.
That's exactly right. Well said, Will. We do have a response from the CIA I want to get in here. They offered this response, quote, "In 2019, we started our ongoing social media series, Humans of the CIA, where we share stories about real officers and their roles advancing the agency's national security mission. Our goal is to humanize CIA through our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts so followers can see themselves here and apply." Harris, your thoughts?
So, I mean, it's necessary for them to respond to the backlash. I sometimes wonder, though, when corporations respond if they don't dig a deeper hole for themselves. Mm-hmm. So whose decision was it to pick the representatives of diversity? That would be a question. And why, and Rachel Campos-Duffy and I talked about this last hour, why wasn't the one unifying thing which humanizes all of us not mentioned among the ones that we've seen, at least? Maybe there are 52 of these and we've only seen 50 of them. American. That's what we are. And wouldn't you want to know that from the CIA? Right. Shouldn't that be in somewhere in their recruitment? That you know, we're doing this for America. We're in this together. And then the other thing is, do they have one with a single mom that says, "Hey, girl, I'm hot up on Tinder"? I mean, I could change a diaper and work a toddler's play, you know, situation at the same time. My girls are 2 years apart. At some point, I had to do that. I guess it fits my job description as a journalist. I don't know. I never thought to put it down next to the color of my skin. Like, I don't really know how they chose the categories that felt right to highlight and who got to put them in the order that they're in. I think those are fair questions.
It's a great point. Great questions. I wish you were asking them of the CIA. Here, what's your thoughts, Emily?
Well, first of all, you would never see Mitch Rapp making that video, right? And I think to your point, absolutely, it's dangerous for a recruitment strategy to be based on what sets you apart rather than what unifies you in a law enforcement intelligence gathering agency such as that, where you have to be plug and play. You have to know that every agent, if one is gone, that another will stand up to the same standard and won't simply check out or have some type of divisiveness thing that would set them apart. And I think, you know, from a management perspective, it's obviously a failure in that when you invite in these divisive topics or politics to come into the workforce, that creates a monster you cannot kill. And I also think it's a bit, to your point about China's response, a bit odd that we would advertise the fact that we are staffing the CIA with anxious characters.
That is a very good point, Emily. Well said.